You ever wake up, look out your window, and realize your driveway's been turned into a solid wall of concrete, like overnight? Like someone just poured a tombstone right over your freedom? Yeah, that happened. And the best part? The woman who ordered it actually smiled when I called it illegal. My name's Mason Carter, and this little tale takes place in the so-called peaceful community of Elk Ridge Estates, just outside Helena, Montana. I bought my 2-acre slice of heaven 2 years ago, thinking I'd finally escape the city nonsense. Ranch-style homes, views of the mountains, crisp morning air, what's not to love? Turns out, the HOA. And more specifically, Brenda Whitmore, the self-declared queen bee of Elk Ridge, HOA president, Range Rover warrior, and the kind of woman who thinks enforcing neighborhood aesthetics means controlling every inch of your life. Now me, I'm just a tech repair guy. I run a mobile service called Ridge Tech. Drive out to farms and rural homes, fix up servers, install security systems, that kind of thing. Not glamorous, but it pays the bills. For my work, I drive a big old pickup, clean, insured, nothing flashy, just practical. But according to Brenda, it was a visual offense. Her words. She came strutting up to my workshop one morning, designer boots crunching gravel, clipboard in hand, and that tight little fake smile stretched across her face. "Mr. Carter," she said, like she was addressing a dog who just peed on her rug, "we need to talk about the appearance of your vehicle." I blinked. What about it? "It's not suitable for Elk Ridge. It's damaging the community's premium image." I actually laughed, thinking she was joking. But no, she was dead serious. I told her, politely at first, that the truck was necessary for work and perfectly legal. I'd read the HOA handbook front to back. Nothing in there banned pickup trucks. But logic doesn't matter to people like Brenda. The next day, a massive red sign showed up on the edge of my driveway. Commercial violation, under HOA review. Felt like a scarlet letter. Neighbors started whispering. Brenda? She'd cruise by slowly in her SUV, snapping pictures like I was some kind of criminal. It wasn't about the truck. It was about power. A few days later, I got an official notice from the HOA, $250 fine, and a threat of escalating penalties if I didn't remove the commercial vehicle. My hands were shaking, not from the cold, but from the absolute nerve of it. So I did what any reasonable man would do. I tried to talk it out. I went to Brenda's house, knocked on the door, violation letter in hand. She opened it in a silk blouse, glass of wine in hand, and looked me up and down like I'd tracked mud into a museum. "Brenda, this isn't right. My truck's not against the rules. I checked." She smiled. "Well, maybe the rules need to evolve." Let me back up a sec. Evolve? This woman was rewriting the HOA code on the fly just to push her personal agenda. I thought it couldn't get worse. Until it did. One cold Thursday morning, I woke up to the sound of engines. Heavy ones. Looked outside and saw a concrete mixer pulling up. I ran out barefoot, heart pounding. The foreman shrugged, handed me a work order signed by, you guessed it, Brenda. Emergency barrier installation to correct violation. They were pouring concrete across my driveway. My actual property. I yelled, argued, called the sheriff. But the deputy who showed up said it was a civil matter. Civil. As if someone pouring cement across your driveway without consent was just a friendly disagreement over a cup of tea. Brenda showed up around noon, watching it all from her car with sunglasses on and a smug smirk like she was attending a parade in her honor. "You're welcome," she said, rolling down the window. "Now the neighborhood won't have to suffer the sight of your truck anymore." I could have lost it right there, but I didn't. Instead, I went digging. With help from a neighbor, an older woman named Deborah, who used to work in real estate, I started checking public land records, property lines, permits, all of it. And what we found was a gold mine. Turns out Brenda had been using her massive front yard as private property, when legally it was common ground, community land. And not only that, but she hadn't pulled permits for any of the fountains, decorative stones, or landscaping she'd plastered all over it. That's when it hit me. If that front yard belonged to the community, then the community could use it, including, say, for parking. That's right. I filed paperwork to convert the public land Brenda had claimed into a temporary community parking area, with meters, with official signage, with a fully permitted design that met county regulations. I even included solar-powered pay stations, all legal, all by the book. The day construction started, Brenda lost her mind. Picture it, 6:30 a.m., workers unloading materials, installing signs, painting lines. Brenda bursts out of her house in a satin robe, hair flying like a wild banshee, screaming bloody murder. "You can't do this! This is my yard!" "Nope," I said, handing her the official survey map and county permits. "It's not, it's ours." By noon, every parking spot was full. Neighbors pulled up with lawn chairs just to watch. People were taking selfies in the lot. A UPS driver actually thanked me for making deliveries easier. Brenda, she was trapped, couldn't leave her house without navigating through rows of parked cars. Delivery vans, kids on scooters, even a taco truck showed up once. The woman who once ruled the neighborhood with fear couldn't even back out of her own garage. Then she snapped. She ran outside with a hammer and attacked the electronic sign. Full-on meltdown. I filmed it. She cracked the screen before I calmly called the sheriff and sent the footage to the county. Vandalism, destruction of public property. Charges were filed within a day. A week later, Brenda came to me in tears, offered to remove the concrete from my driveway if I'd just shut down the parking lot. I told her that was a start, but not nearly enough. I demanded she resign as HOA president, pay for repairs to my driveway, and reimburse every family she'd find under her fake rules. And you know what? She agreed. The next weekend, we held a special community meeting. Every property owner in Elk Ridge showed up. Stories poured out about Brenda fining families for letting their kids play in the yard, banning vegetable gardens, destroying holiday decorations. When the vote came, it wasn't even close. Brenda was removed as HOA president, unanimously, replaced by Deborah, the same neighbor who helped me take her down. 2 days later, demolition crews tore out the concrete barrier across my driveway. People cheered like it was the 4th of July. Brenda listed her house for sale and moved to a condo 2 towns over. Now maybe that sounds petty to some of y'all, turning someone's lawn into a parking lot. But here's the thing. I didn't break the rules. I used them. Sometimes the only way to deal with a bully who hides behind bylaws is to fight smarter, not louder. So tell me, have you ever had to deal with an out-of-control HOA? Drop your horror story in the comments. I want to hear it. Was I right to do what I did? Or did I go too far? Let's talk about it.